right. All right. Got the YouTube running, it looks like. All right, there we go. You can go ahead, Sharanda.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sharanda Ivy. I'm here in Georgia. I'm the CDLP state trainer for Georgia, been with Legal Shield for, this is our 9th year. So we are full service associates working Legal Shield. We are Emerald Elite associates as well. So that means we're in the top 100. I think we're number 49. And I focus my business mostly on CDLP and small business. We've earned the 1000 Production App Award, named Field Trainer of the Year, and just love this space. Chose this as my major a few years ago, and relationships building tonight, what we're going to talk about, has been key in my business because that's what I've done. I built my business off relationships. Most of my business, I'll say half of my business in a month is from referrals. So from the relationships that I've built. So definitely a subject that definitely want to talk about tonight. So, but if we can help you in any kind of way, don't hesitate to reach out. I do host the accountability call on Thursday nights. It's more like a mastermind for those individuals who are working in the space. So if you want some accountability because you're working in the space, you can tap into that. This accountability, so we look for you to show up every week. This call right here is a lot of, I guess, coaching. The accountability is some best practices, what people are actually doing in the field. So you can tap in if that's you who's out there working and want some accountability, something to bounce off other associates that are actually working in the space. I would say over half of their business is in this space. So definitely tap in. So with that, I pass it back over to you, Dunbar.
All right, good stuff. So relationship pitching, it's going to be a couple of different pointers on this, guys. So it's not all going to run together like you think. So when I say relationship pitching, that's a little bit different. And then building a relationship with the gatekeeper, I call that relationship, because you're going to try to connect with that person as opposed to looking at that person as an opposition to get around, to get to the owner. Because really, if you can get to the gatekeeper and get them on your side, right, they'll kind of convey what you need to the owner and make sure you got a good relationship with the owner. That's a good go through. And I want you to just, again, everything that we do for the most part is about mindset. So if you have your mindset and your conscious, your awareness going in the right direction, it changes the narrative of everything you're doing. How many people, right? But be honest, put a 3 in the chat. How many people look at the gatekeeper, right, as somebody that they need to get around, get through, or figure out some kind of way to manipulate to get to the owner? If you're that person, put a 3 in the chat. Right, and we're taught in sales so many times that, right? Oh man, let me give you a script to get through the gatekeeper. Let me give you a script to get around the gatekeeper, right? Could you imagine now for the men and for the women? So women, look at it from y'all's aspect, and really that's probably the only way you're gonna be able to look at it, right? And then men, you look at it from your aspect. Could you imagine that guy being in love with a woman and wanting to ask her hand in marriage, but thinking that he had to get around her father to ask for her hand in marriage? Would that make sense? I got to get through her dad. Do I get through the dad, go around the dad, or do I create a relationship with the father so that he wants his daughter to marry a guy like me? Does that make sense, guys? I want you guys to change the narrative in your mind to that of, this is not my enemy. This is a person that is trying to protect the person that I love, right? So this father is saying, that's my daughter. Don't want her to marry the wrong guy. You're going to have to prove to me that you're the right guy, right? Game on. So in the beginning, he might be tough. He might be challenging. He might be all those things because he's thinking, I'm not going to let this guy trick me into giving up my daughter, or trick my daughter and thinking he's a good guy until they get married. Then he turns into, right, Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, right? So we don't want that to happen. So he's trying to run every game he can to make sure he catches you, right, before you pull a fast one. Not because he doesn't want you to have his daughter. He just doesn't want you to have his daughter if you're what? The wrong guy. He wants his daughter to get married. He just don't want his daughter to marry who, guys? The wrong guy. The gatekeeper is doing the same thing. They're there to protect the business owner from people that's going to sell bad products, waste their time, put their drivers in jeopardy, put their company in jeopardy, and be a waste of the company's time. Yes, put a 4 in the chat, that makes sense. So instead of, if you know that you've got something good, why are you trying to trick the gatekeeper? Why are you trying to get around, get around the gatekeeper? Why aren't you building a relationship with the gatekeeper so that they can relate a proper message to the owner so that the owner now says, oh, wow, because guess what? They trust the gatekeeper already. So that's a trusting hand. So if you get that, they get the trusting hand to say, you know what? This lady, this Sharanda, man, she came by here a couple of times with this information, and I've been looking at it. It's been kind of good. I actually spent some time doing one of my lunch breaks, looking some stuff up, and like she right, like this is good to have because of this and because of that. And if we'd have had this when this happened, then this might have been a good thing. Now who's convincing for you? The same person that you were looking at as the person that was against you, you have now conveyed to them, oh man, this is really something that you guys can benefit from. And so you don't have to get to the gatekeeper because guess what? That's who answering the phone. That's who's at the front desk when you walk in. So you're trying to get past somebody to get to somebody else. So you got to convince somebody to let you pass them to convince somebody to buy. When you can just go to the person that you can get to, talk to them, build a relationship there, and have them convey your message to the owner and make it an easier conversion. Is this making sense, everybody? Put a 5 in the chat if it's making sense. So I want you to look at relationship, right, as not I'm just building a relationship with this company to save the membership. Now I'm just creating a relationship with the drivers that I sell it to so that they stay on the books. But you want to create a relationship all the way through, all the way through, all the way through. And I want you to go into this whole deal with relationship building. This is why it's so important to have as many people in the pipeline as you possibly can so that you can go through the process properly. And the reason why we're trying to close so fast is because we got a bill due Wednesday, and we're trying to close the person we've been on Monday, on Tuesday, to pay the bill on Wednesday. Right? If I can close you on Tuesday, that means Wednesday is show me the money coming, and I can at least do a bank draft. So on Thursday, when I can catch it, right? That's what we're thinking, right? And in all reality, if you would have a pipeline full of people, full of prospects, what would happen is you would always be closing anyway. And you would be closing correctly and have built a good relationship. And you would get to a point like you'll see so many people on the leaderboard. And Sharanda is lucky enough for us, is on the leadership board. And every single Monday she's here with us, as well as on Thursdays. And she can tell you how much business she's getting from referrals. Have you heard Lamar talk about how much business he gets from referrals? Why are these people getting referral business? Because they're spending time building a relationship, educating the people that they talk to. So much so that person says, I've got somebody else that you can help. So when I say relationship pitching, that is me picking up the phone and pitching in a relationship style. All right? That means when I pick up the phone, I can say, hey, this is Robert Dunbar. I'm calling from Oceanside Benefits Group, the Commercial Drivers Division. And because I'm going to be in your area next week, I'm giving you guys a call because I would like to stop through there to see if I can create a relationship with you all, because my company goes around and helps companies that we see different things on their safety score that might be able to be changed for the future. So if it happens again, it can be dealt with before it happens, or it can be prevented. Is that something that you guys are interested in? Right? Relationship. That's a relationship pitch. Right? I'm coming to build a relationship. Relationship pitching to me is me walking in the front door of a place, right? And just dropping off. And remember, guys, this is the key. You don't have to feed everybody. One of the things I learned when I drop stuff off is the person at the front desk always have friends. And that's a good way to make a joke. So if Sharanda's is at the front, let me see something real quick here. If Sharonda, let me pick on somebody else. If George is at the front, right? If George is at the front desk and I walk in with 24 donuts, right? Or let's take a Tuesday guy, because I used to, right, when my budget was really tight, I always use Tuesdays because I know Panera Bread had Bagel Tuesday. And I know I can go and I can spend $13 and some change and get 12 bagels from Panera Bread with a tub of cream cheese, which is very inexpensive, but Panera Bread has a good name. So if you drop that off, people don't think you're cheap, right? So I can walk in with 24 bagels and spend $26. And I don't even know how many, and I may know how many trucking drivers are in that trucking company because I may have pulled it. Or let's say I just walk into a company because I just do the T formation. Y'all know what that is, right? I go to an appointment, then I go to the right, to the left, and across the street. I may walk in and say, hey, look, I had an account this morning and it was way less people than it was supposed to be. So I've got a couple of bags of bagels up with some cream cheese. I know you got some truck drivers here. I know they stay on the road. We just want to show some appreciation. If you don't mind, if you could throw them in the break room or whatever the case may be. I don't know how many guys work here, but I know you got some favorites. Just make sure that they get some of these bagels. Because the person at the front desk has some favorites, right? And what do I staple the bag closed with? A business card. I fold the bag, the top of the bag, seal it, and I take a staple and I staple on business card. And Panera Bread actually has a stapler that you can use to do that. Because I used to do it all the time. And I would walk in and drop that stuff off. And guess what? I wouldn't even try to talk to the people. I wouldn't even try to talk to the guy. I just dropped them off. Why? Why is that? Why? Because I know what I'm going to do. What? I'm going to do a relationship pitch. So now when I pick up the phone and I'm going to say, now listen to this. Hey, I'm trying to get a hold of Miss Sharonda Ivy. She handles the moving, non-moving violation in the company. Is this George? And George, yeah, this is George. I'm the guy that dropped the bagels off the other day. I'm just trying to get a hold of Sharonda because I got some information I want to give her on how we can help with some of the issues. I see in the last 6 months, you guys got about 6 or 7 violations. And I want to see what we can do to make sure that if that happens again, we can prevent some of the damage. When is a good time to get a hold of Sharonda? Relationship pitch, man, that's way easier. You guys follow that? It's way easier because I've already delivered something before I even made my pitch, right? If you feel like you can do that, put a 6 in the chat, right? Put a 6 in the chat. Now, again, what are you thinking? Man, you know what? This dude is asking me to drop bagels off before I say anything, then call a few days later. I ain't got no time to do that. I'm just going to walk in like I normally do and go to all these places because I'm going to close them faster that way. You're not going to close them faster that way because I'm shortening the amount of exposures you need to make because I'm building a relationship along the way. You're cold calling somebody and it's going to take you longer to convert. Remember, guys, it's not the cost of the gift that matters. It's the fact that you're giving them a gift, the fact that you thought about them. The fact that there's probably 200, 300, 400 trucking companies in your city somewhere, and you stop by theirs and drop bagels off. That's all they thinking, because they know you ain't dropped bagels off at 400 places. So what they're thinking is, he dropped bagels off at our place. Think about yourself as a business owner. Imagine if you got a knock on the door at your home office and you open up the door and it was somebody from Uber Eats that had lunch for you. A $9 meal, this lunch. And it just had a business card staple on there. Hey, thinking about your business, here's lunch on us. You'll be thinking, all these businesses, I work from home, somebody sent me lunch? How would you be thinking if that was your business? That's exactly how they're thinking. Who dropped something off at our place for lunch or some bagels for our drivers, and we don't even really know who this person is, right? Now it makes that call to them not as cold because you feel like you did something for them already. Does that make sense? Put a 7 in the chat if that makes sense. Put a 7 in the chat. I don't want you guys to bypass that. I don't want you guys to bypass the opportunity to stop by a company and talk to a gatekeeper and start building a relationship with the gatekeeper and not yet have even approached the owner of the company. Because if you're talking good stuff to that gatekeeper, you think they're not going to let the company owner know or the safety manager know that there's something out there that they can use, that you're the one that's talking about it to them? If you make them feel like they're important enough to hold that conversation with them, as opposed to you going right directly to the safety manager. it changes the game for you when you go in, and it makes your branding look a lot better because you're not as salesy. You guys follow that? All right, so let me turn it over to Sharanda Ivy, because Sharanda Ivy has done a lot of relationship building things herself, and I know she's got some different tips, some different tips, techniques that you guys can use, and she can talk about also some ways that building a relationship has helped her business along the way. So Sharanda.
Well, it's built my business for sure. A lot of times when I'm not feeling like dialing, I just call and introduce myself. And a lot of time that conversation becomes really warm where whoever I'm talking to, if I'm not talking to the owner, if I'm talking to a gatekeeper, even though, my prospects, a lot of times I'm talking to the owner. But even when I'm talking to the owner, if I'll come with the approach, I'm just introducing myself. And so, not really being salesy or anything like that, just introducing who I am, maybe asking a little bit of questions about them. But a lot of times when I'm not feeling like calling, it's like, hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. And, the conversation starts to warm up and we build that relationship. And maybe, call back again and just set an appointment. Not right away, like maybe a week or two. But that just helps me get through my dials. But a lot of times also, another way I build relationships is I'm always asking anybody, if they know anybody that has a trucking company or that are commercial drivers. I tend to ask a lot of people that no matter which prospect I'm talking to, maybe I'm talking to active members already. I do a lot of fishing with my active members, trying to see who they know. And especially with my commercial drivers, um, they always know another driver or they know somebody who's inspiring to start a company. So, you'll be surprised at how many referrals and by building that type of relationship with your active members or even people you didn't really close, you really didn't sell. I get a lot of referrals, believe it or not, from people that don't have my membership, but they will refer people to me all the time. So I remove the sale a lot of times, and that makes the whole process, easier. And I tend to come into my next month with a lot of referrals closing out. Sometimes it could be flooding, but like I say, half of my business is built from referrals and relationship building. um, I had a referral today from an active member, and talked to the referral last week to set the appointment for today. And when I talked to the prospect today, and we just started chatting after I had closed her, and I realized who she was. I knew her, but I was so busy, just trying to serve the referral that I wasn't even just thinking about the name. It was just, in my nature. But she and I just had a great conversation. But I do that all day, just, normally, and that's how I started my business. I started my business because when I got started, they used to tell you when you did a sit down, when you close somebody, the next question you would ask was, who do you know that could benefit from the services that I just shared with you or you just got? And I've used that throughout the years. So that's where I'm at with relationship building. And because like I say, that's really my business. My business has really been building those relationships, and going back, to those people, just making sure they're good. Good customer service is a plus. I always remember that.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. And I know Sharon, you have a story as well. So I'm gonna open it up to you for you to tell a relationship story as well, because I really want it to sink into everybody the importance of just taking it slow, and especially for our men. we had the conversation, but I want the women to think about it from another angle too. I want women, think about yourself. Think about a relationship. Think about, how do you want a guy to be with you? You want a guy to be fast or slow? You want a guy to build a relationship with you, or like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you want? You want a guy to take his time, build a relationship, see what you're about, right? And you want it to be the real thing. That's what you should be doing for the businesses that you're meeting and you're looking to build relationships. The same way when you meet a guy, you like, okay, is this gonna be some guy that's trying to sleep with me fast, get me to a hotel, right? No. You want slow walk. Let's build a relationship. Let's figure out who I am. Let's communicate. Let's see if we can talk. Let's do all those things, right? We're adults on the Zoom, right? So we already know, when you're building a relationship, a real relationship with a person, you want a person to do it in a certain specific way. But then we go after prospects and we look at prospects like a piece of meat. And they're not a piece of meat. It's business that you're doing that you intend on paying your bills now, especially in this company, for at least 20 years. For at least 20 years, because if it stays on the books for more than 20 years, we know the rest starts to go to legal shield. But as a legal shield associate, you get 20 years of business out this person because you built a relationship. Is your business, right? Is your time, right? Is your relationship building skill worth, right? You spending that time doing that for 20 years, right? Of that client's hand in business, right? Not hand in marriage, but hand in business, right? And you can do that with as many companies as you want and spend time doing that. You can even systematically do relationship building, because it's an ongoing thing, right? How many of y'all do date night? Put an 8 in the chat if you do date night, right? So you do date night, that's continuous relationship building. So what am I doing with the client? Maybe a newsletter once a week, something that goes out. Guys, you're sending the newsletter out to all your clients at one time. It's one button, you click it. I'm not telling you to send an email to 70 clients. I'm saying put 70 clients in one tag and send an email out to all 70 at one time. Now they're getting an educational email that says, I'm thinking about you. And when you send something saying, I'm thinking about you, they might be saying, oh, you know what? Doggone it. I meant to call Sharon anyway, because I know this guy that opened up a truck company. He needs a service. And then they respond back, hey, thanks for this information you sent me. Give me a call when you got a chance. I got somebody I need to introduce you to. You guys understand that? So every email shouldn't be a sales email. You only want to send something when there's something else to buy, right? So again, guys, think about relationship in every aspect. What don't you like in a relationship? Don't treat your business relationships any different than that, right? Don't call me when you want something. Call me and give me some stuff because you care about me. Does that make sense? That's what a business relationship is. You should be reaching out to your contacts even when it's not enrollment season. Even when it's not, because they just got a bunch of new people. You know, they just hired 5 new people, 10 new people. Now you're trying to reach out because you want to see if you can help close. Contact them regularly. Put it on automation to contact them at least once a week, right? You curate your leads that way, and you build a relationship with your current prospects that way. So I'm gonna turn it over to Sharon Holiday so she can give us a relationship story, how it's helped her business. So Miss Sharon Holiday, thank you. I mean, Sharon Holiday. Sharon Holiday. I don't know why I keep missing your names up.
It's all good. Yeah, you all know, as a field trainer myself, when I train about customer service, because that's what I give to my normal clients. I tell people a customer is just one and done. You don't call them back or anything to find out how they're doing, if they've gotten their wills done, if they have downloaded the apps or anything. No, I have clients where I reach back out to them in a 2-week window, where I'm calling them and checking on them. If they need a 3-way call done with member services to try to get billing corrected, I do that. I'm doing a 3-way call with them. I had one of my members, him and his wife have top secret clearance, and it's a business owner, and they had gotten our identity theft, and he couldn't understand why he couldn't get into the app. And he told me that he has top secret clearance, that, if they only can go through their platform. So we called up corporate and was trying to walk him through. getting through his ID shield with him and his wife. But the other person on the other end, oh my God, he gave excellent customer service to my client, and understood why Legal Shield couldn't get through that firewall of the client is because of his clearance. And so that gained his respect right there. He wrote a letter. He sent an email to corporate on that particular customer service representative. And he was like, he's never seen a representative like that before, all because, one for me and one for Josh at the time, all because of that extended arm that I had given them. And then he'll keep me abreast. I'll keep him abreast of whatever's going on in the industry, whatever's going on, whatever blitz that's coming up next as well. But when he knew that I was able to just extend, I tell him, I tell anybody my office hours are from whatever time to 8 p.m. If it's after 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, shoot me a text, that way, if I can't get back with you that night, I'll call you first thing that morning, but let it be a detailed text so I know what I'm going into. I had a driver today saying that his court date was last week and he hasn't heard back from the attorney. So I called Riggs Apney with him because he was driving. He didn't have the telephone number. So I called Riggs Apney to get the referrals telephone number. They're an hour behind Eastern Standard Time. I called the telephone number and the answering machine says that the number you have dialed, the voicemail is full at this time. I'm like, wait a minute, how you have a voicemail that's full and not an answering service that can take phone calls, and you're one of our referral attorneys? So me being a member myself, I was a little uneasy with that I can't leave a message for an attorney that should have went to court and hasn't returned the call. So I immediately went to my back office and I put in the attorney concern so Legal Shield can look in it tomorrow. And I told the driver, I said, well, I'll give you a call back first thing in the morning. I'll try to reach out to the law firm once again to see if their line is clear. That way I can get you on the line so you can speak with them. It's just extending that long arm of customer service. That way you can build that relationship. They know you, they like you, they trust you. They understand that, okay, well, when I do refer somebody else to her, or I'm sending her referrals, she's going to give them that same extension of extra help that she may, that I never received before from another person that I spent my money with, and that's the bottom line for me is customer service. That's the only way, where referrals are going to come in, as well as training other associates to do the same thing on customer service. Rather, it's getting a box of thank you cards that I got over there right now that I have to write out when I enroll somebody for a new membership, just to tell them thank you, because people don't get thank you cards in the mail. We all like to get something other than a bill. A thank you card doesn't hurt. So with that, Mr. Dunbar, I turn the call back over to you.
All right, fantastic. So we heard about building a relationship with the gatekeeper, not going around, not going through, but building a relationship with the gatekeeper. We heard about how it helps with long-term business, how you can get referrals from it. 2 stories that can help. So for those that have followed any of the trainings that I've done on operating through a company name and having the EIN number, doing a name and number change with Legal Shield. So let me tell you where relationship building and branding kind of come together on this aspect of things. So let's take as an example that let's use Sharon Holiday because she was just speaking here. Sharon Holiday is operating through her company as a Legal Shield associate, but she opens up a company called Holiday Benefits Group or Holiday Holiday Benefits Group, right? And that's the name of her company. And she closes all these groups under that company name. Let's say 5 or 10 years down the line, something crazy happened, right? Mother Nature just acts like a fool, and a tornado or hurricane or whatever goes through Oklahoma. I don't know, whatever kind of bad weather goes to that area of the world. Something happens and Legal Shield gets shut down. I mean, it goes away because it was just so bad. It just took them under. And Sharon Holiday has been building with this company over 20 years. She's got several groups on the book. She's got relationship with these owners and these safety managers and these gatekeepers and the employees of all these companies, and it goes away. The Sharon Holiday's business, complete 20 years of business in group enrollments and putting people in this, does that all go away at that point? Well, it does if she's just an independent associate of Legal Shield. But if Sharon Holiday has Holiday Benefits Group and something happens to Legal Shield, she can now call her accounts and do what? Offer another legal program or another identity theft program. Now, this is an extreme example, right? We know that's probably not gonna happen. We know how that home office is built. It's actually the shelter for that entire Ada, Oklahoma City, right? We know that. I'm giving you that example just so you guys will understand. This now solidifies your branding and it being your business. And if you ever needed to exchange anything, you could. If something went down and Legal Shield was no longer able to offer that, you wouldn't lose your business because you built relationships through your company, and you being the CEO and founder of that company, you're just offering Legal Shield products through your company. Which is why we have a name and number change so that you can operate through a company, so that you can operate similar to an insurance agent, where they say, I have an insurance agency and I offer these different insurances through my company, right? You have a benefits company. And what do you offer? Legal and identity theft products through your company. And if you recruit insurance agents of any sort, Aflac agents, health agents, Medicare agents, whatever, Humana, whatever else they sell, now you offer those products through your company as well, because those insurance agents are on your team. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Put a 9 in the chat if that makes sense. So relationship building is you're building a relationship and a brand with your contacts as a business owner. And that's really important for you guys to understand. Business ownership is a huge part of this. So when you're saying, hey, I'm building relationship with people, that's going to go all the way to that aspect. And then when you move it over into the Chamber of Commerce and move it over to BNIs, if you're doing all of that kind of stuff, that is all relationship building. And if you don't know the beauty in building relationships in like a chamber or BNI, huge for your business. I know Legal Shield reps who their entire business is built on them being in BNI. I know people who've been in BNI for years and built their entire B2B side of their business strictly with just attending a weekly BNI meeting, right? Which is Business Networking International. If anybody that don't know what BNI is, I know somebody's gonna say, what's BNI? Right, BNI is Business Networking International. Just pull them up and you'll kind of see what they're about. They're a little bit expensive, but they're worth it. If you do the program correctly, you can make a lot more money that you're spending than being in it. But that's all relationship building. So when I'm talking to people and they're saying, I'm in a BNI, I can't make it happen. How are your one-on-ones? What kind of questions are you asking in your one-on-ones? And those are the things that we're going to talk about. We talk about the pitching and all that. I'm going to talk to you about when you sit down. If I sit down with Sharon, what kind of questions do I ask Sharon as a safety manager, as a company owner to build a relationship? What kind of questions do I ask Sharon Holiday as another business owner? What kind of questions do I ask her, and what kind of statements do I make about my business to get her to give me referrals? Relationship building. That is what business is, right? You ask somebody that went to a prestigious college, what do you get out of there? It's not just the education, guys. It's not just the degree on the wall that says I went to Yale or Harvard or Howard or Penn State or any historically Black college. It doesn't matter, right? That is important. But what you get more out of that college experience is you'll see Alistair Edwards practice that all the time. He's in all kind of organizations because of his alma mater in school. He's tied into a lot of social groups and business groups in Atlanta and all over the United States because of people that he graduated from college. Because he built a relationship with those people and they all went on to have different successes in different areas, and he built a relationship with them before they went their separate ways. And now they can communicate through social media and connect again, and now they can be tied into each other with different businesses. He's able to offer different things. He offered like the opportunity to go into their company and offer benefits, and then they can offer things to him that he may not have had access to if it wasn't for them. Relationship building is key in the business world. So you got to understand, you need to have a relationship pitch when you go into a place. And you need to be able to reach out to people and not sell anything. I'm big on that. Like, if anybody's followed me for the last 2 years, most of what I'm talking about now is right? Not going after the sale first and foremost. Stop chasing people for a sale. Build a relationship and the sale will come. If you offer a good product, people aren't gonna buy it. You don't have to make people buy something that's a good product. What you have to do is make them like you, understand you, know you, because once they know you, they buy into whatever it is you're about. But if what you're about is nothing, then there's nothing to buy. But you guys are offering a product that's already right. That part is already, it's already lock, stock, and barrel. We know, you know the membership works, you know what's good, you know the opportunity is good. So you know the product is good. The question is, how are you building relationships? Why is somebody buying a membership from you instead of buying it from the person that they go to church with? Why is the person buying a membership from you instead of the person that they go to work with? Why are they buying a membership from you, right? Why is the person buying a membership from Anthony instead of buying a membership from their nephew who sells it? Because they're thinking, my nephew is a knucklehead. And he always doing something slick, so I don't trust him. But you, I trust. So I know if I have an issue with my membership, right? And that's reality, right? That's transparency. That's what it is. There's people that won't buy from their own family because they already know what their own family is about. But if you offer the same product and they trust you, guess what happens? You can get the business. But if you don't relationship build, right? It can't just be, oh, this is a great product. You can't put Legal Shield in front of you. Yes or yes? Put a 10 in the chat. And that's what we're doing. So I always throw the question out there when I'm doing a branding training. Are you making Louis Vuitton look good, or is Louis Vuitton making you look good? Right? If you put on some Gucci shoes and somebody's saying, ooh, man, now you making that outfit look real nice, or does that outfit make you, does that outfit make you, are people only talking to you because you have on that stuff? Right? Are people talking to you because you're on the leaderboard, or are people talking to you because you're a really good person and they want you to show them how to get on the leaderboard because they like your vibe? Because there's a lot of successful creeps, right? It's okay if I say that, right? So a bunch of successful creeps, right? So you have to understand that sometimes you can be really good at something, but just be a really bad person. So does your branding and relationship building skill precede you? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Do people enjoy doing business with you and get the benefits of whatever it is that you offer in the process of doing that? That's what relationship building is about. Relationship pitching is about you saying, hey, let me go in here and build a relationship with this company so that they want what I offer. And not only do they want what I offer, but I close them, I keep them on the books, and they're willing to give me referrals. Because I created a relationship with them, because I got a good product, and because I've offered good customer service. So when an issue happens, because we can always look really good when things are good, right? You ever see somebody that's like, when it's good times, man, you know, everybody looks good. It's not until the trouble starts. That's when you find out, right? We don't find out who the good leaders are until the challenge happens. It's easy to say I'm a great leader when nothing's going wrong, but when something goes wrong, that's when we see, hey, is this person really a good leader or a bad leader? So we find out, right, when something happens within that account. You've been all nice, right? You're dropping stuff off. You got the best attitude until one of those drivers call with an issue that you don't know how to solve. And then all of a sudden, your attitude gets nasty because, right, like the comedian Kevin Hart says, you're talking to your kids and your kids ask you a question you can't answer. Now you get mad because you can't answer the question. Right? Bad customer service. And now that driver tells that owner, yeah, man, I reached out to, I'm not going to be sharing up on this one. I reached out to Anthony, right? And when I reached out to Anthony, you know, he was kind of, he wasn't really that helpful. He seemed like he was kind of like bothered by me calling him, right? And that might not be Anthony's normal attitude, but he might have called Anthony at a bad time, right? Anthony might have been upset because he didn't know the answer to that question, right? I know that's not your personality, Anthony, but I also know that you can take a joke, right? So if that's the case, now you ruin your reputation with that company and you're not going to get a referral. People are more likely, about 10 times more likely to spread bad news about you than they are good news. So keep that in mind. You can do a great job and they won't say nothing. You can do a bad job, they'll tell everybody, guys. So you got to build good relationships if you want to stop cold calling. If you want to stop having to hammer these phones day after day and chase people day after day. You don't want to have to do that. And you can do that by pitching in a relationship style, by introducing yourself with service before you introduce yourself with product and sale, if that makes sense, right? Good. So I'm gonna check and see if Sharanda or Sharon have anything else that they want to add before we close out here. Miss Sharanda?
No, not really. I mean, like you said, good customer service. I do cold calling, not because I don't have the relationships, but I cold call to build a relationship. So that's not my deal with cold calling. Because I warm the call up, quickly with a cold call. But definitely, just go out, and go meet a friend every day. That's my mindset. I get up every day to meet some friends, and so it makes it more pleasurable to do the cold calls and things like that to warm it up. So if you're not getting a lot of referrals, start asking for it, because I know too, it's not always about not having the relationship. Some people just don't ask. So, just ask. You'll be surprised at, how many good relationships you have there that will bless you. So, but that's all I have with it. Just be a servant leader, and go out and help people, and it'll come back. It really will. You plant the seeds, it'll definitely come back. So that's all I really have.
Sharon, anything?
Uh-huh.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
The one thing that I can say, what Sharanda just said, is asking. But when you ask people, I like to say, can you help me out? If it's not that particular decision maker or whomever it is, it could be anybody sitting next to me in the park or whatever. Once you made that relationship, find out where they work at, what they do for a living and everything else. And you just built a relationship. Just say, well, you know what, George, I want to know if you can help me out. You may or may not know of A, B, or C, but who do you know that's a business owner? Who do you know that works in the transportation industry? Just who do you know? My job is to educate as many people as I possibly can about our ticket program that we have, or our identity theft that we offer, or something else, and it might just catch their ear. Say, wait a minute, identity theft. I just became a victim recently. What do you all do? If I didn't have that conversation sitting with them in the park or wherever it was. But just always ask. I want to know if you can help me out. And that, that takes it off of them. Okay, she don't want anything from me. She's asking for help. If somebody asks for help on the Zoom, which one of us gonna say, oh no, I can't help you. I don't know what you want. No, it's just asking for help. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Robert.
All right, good stuff, good stuff. And that's important what you said about the questions you and Sharanda. And Sharanda says that many times when we're on this call about asking questions. I know somebody else I work with, Sharon Larry, same thing, like big on questions, ask questions, man. That is so important when it comes to building a relationship, because you're giving people a chance to talk, to tell you what's going on, to tell you what they want, right? Because you can't serve somebody if you don't know what they want. And if you're doing all the talking, how do you find that out, right? How do you find that out? Ask questions. That's really important. So thanks for that, Sharon, and thank you for that too as well, Sharanda. Just talking to people, building a relationship, ask questions, figure out what's going on, because we can't properly help our prospective clients if we don't know what's going on with them. Don't call and assume they need legal shield. They may, but don't call and assume they do. Call and talk to them. Find out who they are. Find out about them, and then turn that conversation, right? Transition that conversation into what you have to offer, how it can help them once you realize that they have an issue, and that's part of relationship building. So remember, guys, the next CDLP certification training, if you need a refresher, if you've never been certified, it's going to be on March 5th with Lamar Reynolds and Alan Roman. So those two will be tag team in that training. So get yourself registered for that event. I sent a few emails out with the success in CDLP sales little flyer there. So if you guys got a chance to download that or didn't get a chance to download it on the call, then I sent it out to everybody that way. So just check your email for that as well. This coming Thursday, don't forget about Sharanda Ivy's accountability call. So if you're saying, hey, look, it's a new year, I did my 90-day run, or I'm doing my 90-day run, things are taking off. I want to get more serious about making these phone calls. I'm doing my calls on a blitz. You want to get involved a little bit more heavily, start looking for finding an accountability partner, people who are really out here making the dials and looking to grow their business. Jump on that accountability call on Thursdays and play a part in that. And don't forget to listen to our replays. So you can go to my YouTube channel, Training by Dunbar. Just go to the playlist for weekly CDLP sales motivation episodes. Click on any one of those episodes. I would suggest you go from backwards to forwards. And I've also been sending that out in an email too. So if you just can't find the YouTube channel, don't worry about it. Just go to your email. I got the videos there. You can click and watch it right through your email. It doesn't matter one way or another. Just get the information so that you can make sure that you are up to date on what's happening with CDLP. Because remember, this is an industry. This is not a one-off. So, right. So anybody that I've offended, because I've gotten a couple of messages from some people, if I offended you by not wanting to answer your one-off questions, it's because I'm trying to keep you from going in the backyard with a dog that bites. So if that's okay to say. So sometimes you guys will message me and y'all just want me to answer a question so y'all can make a sale. And I don't want to do that. If you're not doing CDLP, stop selling CDLP plans. That's probably the most abrupt way I can tell you. If you're going to do CDLP, do it. If you're not going to do it, don't sell one-offs. And if you do, I'm not going to help you do that, because then you can't service that driver if you don't know what you're doing. I'm not going to tell you just enough to close them, because then you can't provide customer service. And then that's my fault, because I shouldn't have helped you create that mess.
Right.
So if you're not going to do CDL, I'm not going to help you close your brother who got a trucking company, but you ain't going to do nothing else to help him after you close and get your performance club points. I'm just not into that. Yes. I need you to take this industry serious so that you can really protect these guys and make this product work like it should and help this industry, not just help your brother, not just help your uncle, but help truck drivers and trucking companies stay afloat so we can have what we need. So I hope that's okay to say. So any closing comments?
I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it. Because I see it all the time. And that's like when we trained the other week, Alan said he had got a lot of emails, people want the questions. Well, I mean, my questions are in my head, but even if I gave you my questions, if you asked them, you wouldn't know why you're asking them. So you can't have a conversation with it because you're not plugged into it. And you don't know why you're asking the questions. You have to know the plan. And, I see those questions on the Facebook page a lot. And I don't answer any of them because it's those people that we don't see on the call. And, they ask these random questions, because they ran into somebody. And those are the people that, sadly, when you go into the market and people have been misled or got the product and didn't know how to use it, or was told it would, it would do something that it didn't do. And now they talk bad about the product. It's those associates who's not really tapped into to learn the product. If the product was easy, like our legal plan, you wouldn't have to have a certification, and corporate would train you freely. But it's a niche market, and this is these people's livelihood. And I just see so many random people out there just trying to make a quick sale, like you said, So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Right. And I'm gonna give you guys a 30-second example of that so that you understand why this can be dangerous. I had a person who sold a plan to a driver, reached out to me a month or two later. They had just happened to sell a plan to a driver, and they reached out to me via Messenger and says, hey, I got a question. I've got a company who I sold a plan to one of his drivers, and the company got a lot of tickets and stuff. And I'm trying to figure out how to get the law firm to help the company, because they keep saying that they can't do nothing for the company, only the driver, and I don't understand why. So they sold a plan to the driver and thought that the driver having a plan, several drivers in the company, right? So everybody on this call, on this Zoom, drives for this company. I sell George a plan by himself. And that's supposed to make sure if the company got in trouble, George's plan was going to help the company. This person, for some reason, thought that. Huh?
The associate told them that,
Yeah,
right?
right. The associate told them that. So now when something happened, they said, hey, we calling the law firm and they're saying that we don't have the plan. Well, then, no, y'all don't have a plan because there's no plan for the company. There's only plans for the drivers, and only one of your drivers has the plan. You guys follow that? So what you have to understand is, first of all, that's not a group, right? You sold the driver a plan, and now for some reason, I don't know the whole conversation with the associate and the company because I kind of backed up from it. But the bottom line was the company was expecting that driver's plan to protect their actual company when something happened, when that's not nothing on how our plan works. And I don't know what made them even have that conversation with them, but they called me thinking that I was going to be able to fix it. And I'm like, I can't fix that. There's nothing I can do about that. You just got to let them know that that's not the way it works. Well, can I sell them a business plan that it help? Nope. Business plan don't help with that.
Well,
So their resolve was what? What was their resolve? Let me get some more premium dollars out of this. Let me just sell them a business plan now, and then that's going to solve the problem. That's not going to solve the problem either. All that's going to do is get you some more premium dollars and have somebody that spends some more money that's going to be even more upset. And see, that's the kind of mess that'll happen if you don't know what you're doing. That's why it's important to ask questions and get plugged into whatever it is you're selling, not chase premium dollars, not chase commissions, but really do a service with this product and the money will come. So that's why I'm saying that those bad situations can happen if you just don't know what you're doing and you're just selling to be selling. Don't sell somebody a CDL plan because they got a CDL license and don't ask no questions. Right? Just, you got a CDL license? Oh, you can get the plan and sell it to them. No conversation. Don't know what they're dealing with, right? So we want to avoid those kind of things from happening. So good. All right, good stuff, guys. I appreciate you guys. It's 9:38. We're gonna go ahead and close out here. Somebody saying something?
Yeah, it's me, Sharon. AJ has his hand up.
Oh, AJ, I'm sorry, I didn't see you, brother.
That's fine. You know what, brother? I want to say amen to that because I have calls coming in myself because people know me and I don't know where they get my number, but they get it and they'll call me and say, oh, well, I got a call from an owner and one owner told him about me and they called me and it was a hot mess because somebody sold them, like you said, a plan that they thought that it's going to help the company and the company can use it. And you know how much energy and time it takes to fix the problem? It takes a lot just to save legal shield. Because if I don't fix it, guess what? That word's going to come out and it's just going to be just like a wildfire and it's going to be like damage control. So I had to call corporate, had to call the law firm, had to, do a lot of things to save, what was sold. And then the owner came to know that, okay, the things that they were told, it's not really true. This is how the program works. So there's people out like you said, there's people out there that, just took the CDLP and think that, oh, I'm just going to go out there and sell the CDLP like crazy, right? But they don't understand the whole industry, how it works. So they need to know that. So that's the first question I ask. I said, when they call me, I'm like, hey, what do you know about the industry? Do you know anything about commercial drivers or trucking industry, how it works? And they're like, oh no, I don't. I just know the plan. I just want to go sell the plan. Well, it doesn't work that way. You have to find the problem the trucking company has, what they need to be a resourceful, right? Coming back to the relationship building, that's what I use is that I talk to the gatekeeper as my friend because I'm going to tell them, hey, what do you have on your desk right now that needs help? What do you have? It could be anything. And I'll be a resource to do that. And so, okay, let me make some phone calls. Let me find out. And what I'm doing at that point is, getting my resources, my network to see how I can help them with that situation. It won't be legal shield. It's not going to be ticket. It's going to be something else out of the blue. And I'll be like, okay, let me find my resources and I'll get back to you. And I get back to them, whether I get the information or not, but I get back to them. And that's how I build relationship to get in. Because that's how I operate with my gatekeepers. If I can help them because they're gonna be the star of the office of their boss because they found that resource, they found that solution for the boss. Even though it's not my name, but they were the star, the hero, right? Make them the hero of that office because that's how you're gonna get in with those gatekeepers. And sometimes you get a plain no, and that's fine too. You move on.
There you go, brother. No, but that's called doing business, man. And I appreciate you doing it because you're in the field doing that stuff as well. Just like Sharanda, just like Sharon, you guys are out there in the field doing it, and you know that's what you're going to get back. You got to go out there and do business. It's called doing business, and there's no excuse to not know what's going on. Because guess what? This training that we do every Monday is free. The training that Sharanda does every Thursday is free, and this Monday training that we all on, it's recorded. So you don't even have to be available at this time or pay anything. We've got almost 4 years of recordings. So there's no reason that you shouldn't know about this industry, because we've had everybody on here that knows anything about CDLP. They've been on this call talking at some point in that 4 years. There's no way you shouldn't know about this industry if you're really interested in knowing. There's no excuse other than you just deciding that it's not important enough to know. And if it's not important enough to know, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to help you fall on your face. And many of the other field trainers and other trainers in CDLP, they're not going to. It's not helpful to the brand, the Legal Shields brand, or our business in general. So you want to make sure that you understand these things. And if you don't understand them, ask questions. Ask questions. Hey, I was on the call on Monday. I was on Sharanda's accountability call on Thursday, and they discussed this. Because somebody helped me out a little bit more understanding that. So when I'm out in the field, I know what I'm talking about. That's how you start that conversation. Because I'm always willing to help if I know you didn't understand something we said. But when you call me and ask me questions about stuff we covered 1,000 times, I just know that you haven't been on these calls at all. I know you haven't been on these calls. If you haven't been on these calls, then you don't know what's going on, because taking the CDLP certification training that's all that is. That's training. That's certifying you to sell Legal Shields product. It is not giving you understanding of the CDLP industry. The CDL industry is not doing that. It's letting you know how our product protects that industry. This call and Sharanda's call will let you know how to go out there and do it, and let you know what this industry has ready for you, so you can make a decision whether you want to do it. So guys, it's 9:44. We got to jump off here. Appreciate all the input. Sharon, thanks again for not only hosting, but talking. AJ, thank you so much for jumping in, guys, with your experience and all that stuff. Just one of those that know one of the newest 50K ring earners as well in the company, Mr. Arjun Joshi, him and his wife both working together with full-time jobs. So you heard what he said about doing research and doing all these things. Got a full-time job too on top of that. And thank you, Sharanda, for everything you bring to the table, all your experience and all your success and all of your knowledge, all that kind of stuff, bringing it to the table, and then hosting that Thursday call for the people who are a little bit more in depth and want that tighter, right, more training on, hey, this is what we're doing right here now in the field. So appreciate you guys all. Thank you. Look forward to y'all being on here again next week. And you can find a recording on YouTube. And of course, I'll send an email out with the recording as well. So everybody have a fantastic evening.
Thanks, Dunbar.
Thank you.
All right, good night, everybody.
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Good night.
Good night.